Have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and immediately felt your chest collapse? Like gravity doubled overnight and you're pinned to the bed by invisible weight. Maybe it's the bills. Maybe it's the job you hate. Maybe it's just the crushing awareness that another day stretches ahead of you and you already want it to end. If you know that feeling, if mornings feel like punishment instead of possibility, then listen closely. Because there was a 32-year-old man who woke up angry at existence itself every single day, until one stranger and just 5 observations every morning rewired everything. Not just his mornings, his entire reality. In a coastal town where fog rolled in thick every morning and seagulls screamed like alarms, there lived a man named Elias. Elias worked as a software engineer for a startup that promised to change the world, but mostly just burned people out. He had an apartment overlooking the harbor, a girlfriend named Nina, enough money to survive. On paper, life was acceptable. But Elias was drowning. Every morning at 6, his alarm shattered the silence. His first thought was always the same, not this again. He'd lie there, phone already in his hand, scrolling. Work emails that made his stomach drop, news that made him angry, social media that made him feel like everyone else had figured out the secret to happiness while he was left behind. His college friend's startup just got funded. Someone's engagement, someone's vacation, everyone ascending while he stayed stuck in the same dark loop. 15 minutes in bed, not resting, drowning in his own mind. By the time he stood up, his shoulders already felt like concrete. Breakfast was mechanical. Coffee he didn't taste. Toast he didn't notice. His brain was already at work, replaying yesterday's awkward conversation with his boss, dreading today's stand-up meeting, counting hours until he could collapse back in bed and repeat this misery tomorrow. One Thursday morning, Nina sat across from him, watching him stare at his phone. "Elias," she said quietly, "when was the last time you actually wanted to wake up?" He looked up, confused. She continued, "When was the last time you opened your eyes and felt glad you did?" Maybe you've been asked that question too. Maybe you couldn't answer either. Elias had no answer. He genuinely couldn't remember. Maybe childhood? Before responsibilities crushed everything good out of life? "I don't know how to feel different," he finally said. Nina's eyes filled. "Elias, you have a functioning body, a functioning mind, people who care about you, but you act like waking up is a curse." He had no defense. The negativity wasn't a choice. It felt automatic, cellular. He'd been telling himself for years, "I'll be happy when I get promoted, when I have more money, when life gets easier." But when never came. The darkness thickened. His sleep deteriorated. His creativity vanished. Even good news, a bonus at work, a sunset over the harbor, couldn't penetrate the fog. He became the person who found the flaw in every plan, the problem in every solution, the darkness in every light. One Sunday night, Nina said something that stopped his heart. "Elias, I love you, but I can't keep sharing a bed with someone who hates being alive." That night, Elias lay awake until 3 a.m. How did I become this? The next morning, unable to sleep, Elias walked down to the harbor at 4:45. The sky was still dark. The air smelled like salt and fish and coffee from the early boats. On the pier, he saw an old fisherman sitting on a wooden crate, mending a net. The man looked to be in his mid-70s, weathered face, calloused hands, but there was something about his expression that stopped Elias cold. Peace. Genuine, unshakable peace. Elias found himself walking closer. "Morning," the old man said without looking up. "Morning," Elias replied. They sat in silence. The fisherman worked his net. Gulls screamed overhead. Finally, Elias spoke. "Can I ask you something?" The fisherman glanced up. "How do you do it? How do you look that calm, that content, like nothing's wrong?" The old man smiled. "You think peace is something you find somewhere, isn't it? No, son. Peace is something you build every single morning. It's like this net." He held up his work, one knot at a time. Elias frowned. "What was your first thought when you woke up today?" the fisherman asked. "Honestly, I thought, why did I wake up? And yesterday? Same. And the day before?" The pattern crashed into Elias like a wave. Every single morning, the same thought, the same dread. "You've trained your brain," the fisherman said gently. "Years of practice. Every morning you practice misery. And now you're a master at it. Trained?" Elias had never thought of it that way. "Can I untrain it?" The fisherman nodded slowly. "Yes. 5 observations. Every morning, 5 minutes, that's all." He pulled out a small weathered journal from his jacket. "For 22 years," he said, "I've done the same thing. Before I check my phone, before I think about what I have to do, I record 5 observations, 5 specific things I notice about being alive right now. Not gratitude lists, not achievements, just what's real." He showed Elias his entry from that morning. The fog was so thick I could barely see my hand. The coffee burned my tongue and reminded me I can feel. The boat motor started on the second try. The rope was rough against my palms. My son texted me goodnight from across the country. 5 observations, Elias repeated. The fisherman picked up 2 pieces of driftwood from the pier. One dark and rotted, one smooth and bleached white. "Your mind is like the sea," he said. "Every morning, you choose what you throw in." He held up the dark wood. "Throw in worry, complaint, dread. That's what fills your day." He held up the white wood. "Throw in awareness, presence, observation. That fills your day instead." He placed both pieces in Elias's hands. "Right now, you've been throwing dark wood for years. Your sea is full of it. But here's what most people never realize. You can change what you throw in starting tomorrow morning." The fisherman explained the practice. Every morning, before your feet touch the floor, before you reach for your phone, record 5 specific observations. Not feelings, not opinions. Just what you notice. The weight of your blanket, the sound of wind, the temperature of air on your face, the first thought in your mind, the way light comes through your window. "What will happen," he continued, "is this. The first week, your brain will fight you. It'll say, 'This is stupid, this changes nothing, that's normal, keep going.' After 10 days, you'll start noticing things during the day because you know you need 5 observations tomorrow. After 3 weeks, you'll catch yourself observing moments as they happen. After 6 weeks, you'll realize your entire baseline shifted, not because life changed, because attention changed." The fisherman pulled out a blank notebook from his bag. 45 days, he said. Every morning, 5 observations, specific, real, before anything else. Can you do that? Elias held the notebook. For the first time in months, he felt something that wasn't numbness, curiosity. "I'll try." Day 1. Elias woke at 6. His hand reached for his phone. He stopped. He opened the notebook. His mind went blank. "What do I observe?" After 7 minutes of staring, he wrote, "The sheets are twisted around my legs. Nina is breathing slowly next to me. There's a crack in the ceiling I never noticed before. My throat is dry. The room smells like laundry detergent. Forced, mechanical." But he did it. Day 3. Still awkward. The entries felt fake, pointless. He almost quit. Day 7. Something small shifted. The observations got slightly more detailed. The morning light made patterns on the wall through the blinds. Nina's hair was spread across the pillow like dark water. I could hear the neighbor's dog barking 3 houses away. My hands were cold outside the blanket. The alarm clock numbers glowed too bright in the dark. He didn't feel different, but he kept going. Various reasons, mooring everyone's. One left behind that may be dead. Legoned sometimes. Maybe you've started things and quit after a week. Maybe you told yourself it wasn't working. Day 14. Elias was in a frustrating Zoom call. His boss was criticizing his code. But then he noticed something. The way his coffee cup was sitting in a perfect circle of sunlight on his desk, creating a small shadow ring. Without thinking, he felt a flicker. That's interesting. And then he realized, I'll write about that tomorrow. For the first time in years, he was looking for moments instead of problems. Day 21. The entries became richer. Woke up before my alarm. The harbor foghorn sounded 3 times in the distance. Nina's hand was resting on my chest. I could feel my heartbeat under her palm. The ceiling fan made a small clicking sound every rotation. The air tasted like salt through the cracked window. Nina noticed. You seem different lately, she said one evening. Different how? Lighter, present, like you're actually here. He showed her the notebook. She read several pages. Tears formed. Elias, she whispered, you're coming back. Day 28. Breakthrough. Elias woke up at 5:30. Not because his alarm went off, because he wanted to write his observations. That morning. I woke up excited to notice things. I can't remember the last time that happened. The room was still dark, but I could see the outline of everything. Nina sleeping peacefully. The sound of waves in the distance. My mind felt quiet instead of screaming. I'm learning I can change my own attention. Day 35. The shift was undeniable. At work, someone criticized his idea in a meeting. Instead of spiraling into anger and shame, he noticed the way the sun was coming through the window, the pattern of the other person's breathing, the texture of his own frustration without drowning in it. He could observe instead of being consumed. Day 45. Elias returned to the pier at 4:45 a.m. The old fisherman was there, mending nets as always. Elias sat beside him, holding out the filled notebook. I did it. 45 days. The fisherman smiled. And? You were right. Everything changed. Not my circumstances, same job, same apartment, same problems. But I changed. I see differently, experience differently. Elias's voice cracked. I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I started finding it again. Awareness, presence, the ability to notice I'm alive instead of wishing I wasn't. The fisherman placed his weathered hand on Elias's shoulder. It was never lost, son, just buried under years of practiced negativity. You chose to practice something else. What now? Elias asked. Keep going, the fisherman said simply. This isn't a 45-day challenge. This is how you live now. Some mornings will be harder. Some days you'll struggle to find 5 observations. But they're always there. Always. 1 year later. Elias still records his 5 observations every morning. It's automatic now, natural as breathing. His relationship with Nina is stronger than it's ever been. His work hasn't changed, but his experience of work has transformed. He still has difficult days, but they don't define him. And every few weeks he meets the old fisherman on the pier, and they sit together in peaceful silence, watching the harbor wake up. 2 people who chose to train their attention differently. My friend, Elias's story is your story. He was drowning in practiced misery. Truth. Trapped in a pattern he thought was permanent. Then, he changed one thing. 5 observations. 5 minutes. Every morning. And his entire experience of being alive transformed. Here's the truth that saved Elias. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control where you place your attention. And where you place your attention determines whether you suffer or whether you live. Maybe you're reading this lying in bed right now, dreading tomorrow morning. Maybe you haven't had a single morning in years where you genuinely wanted to wake up. Right now, you have a choice. Tomorrow morning, you can wake up the same way. Grab your phone, fill your mind with notifications and comparison. Start the day already defeated. Or you can try something different. Here's what I want you to do. Tonight, before sleep, place a notebook and pen next to your bed. Not your phone, a notebook. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the floor, before you check anything, write 5 observations. 5 specific things you notice about being alive in that exact moment. Not gratitude, not positivity, just what you observe. The weight of your blanket, the sound outside your window, the temperature of the air, the first thought in your mind, the way your body feels. Do this every morning for 45 days. I promise you this. If you commit to this practice, you won't just change your mornings, you'll change your relationship with existence itself. Not because life gets easier, because you get better at noticing you're alive instead of wishing you weren't. If this story touched you, if you're ready to transform how you experience waking up, share this with someone who's drowning like Elias was. Comment with one observation from right now. Just one thing you notice. Let's practice together. I'll be back with another story to help you grow. Until then, remember this. Life doesn't improve by accident. It improves by attention. And that attention starts the moment you open your eyes tomorrow. Your 5 observations can change everything. Wake up aware, stay present, keep growing.